Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of Harmony One to take a look at what's been going on most recently with the price action and what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in the Discord, guys, check it out, linked in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So check it out, linked in the description below, and yeah, let's get into this. So Harmony One paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is our data source. And you know, there's a lot of things going on with Harmony One. We can kind of scale this out a little bit and kind of see all the kind of downward price action. We hit a real nice low down here, but I am a little bit cautious, and I want to kind of illustrate some of the caution before we kind of get into some of these fantastic structures that are appearing here for Harmony One. But the obvious and the most concerning is the V bottom. Okay, the V bottoms do not age well, so we want to be a little bit cautious with that. So it's a complete reversal in the market there, and these things are a little bit unnatural from time to time, specifically when we have a DXY going up the way, the DXY going down the way that it is. It's forcing cryptocurrency up the way that it's going. Okay, so interesting stuff. Let's actually just throw the volumes in here. So we can see and take stock. So you can see at the bottom here, we have pretty much, you know, common bearish kind of volumes, nothing terribly too much. Even as this price starts to go up in this little area here, you can see the volumes are really unimpressive. They're not overly doing anything, right? So you know that there's something else quite unnatural occurring. And then of course you see the FOMO kicking in, and obviously, you know, a bit of a move to the upside. But now you can also see volumes are decreasing, specifically as price continues to go up. That's not a good sign. And, you know, it's going to come back down to where it was before, right? Now that FOMO activity is kind of cooled off a bit. So kind of be a little bit cautious. I don't want to kind of create a lot of FOMO around cryptocurrencies right now. We have to be aware that, you know, this is quite artificial in the fact that the US dollar index decrease, which means you need more dollars to buy your assets, nothing more than that. Then of course when prices go up, you get a little bit of FOMO from the retail investors. As we spoke about with Bitcoin, we did see that the larger whale investors are using the recent price action to get out of their positions, and you can see of course their wallet counts decreasing whilst the retail wallet counts are increasing. So again, knowing that retail is buying up the pump, whilst at the same time as that is going on, the Bitcoin is flowing out of the whales over to the retail investors. There's always a buyer, there's always a seller. Understand these fundamental basics and we should be okay. So let's talk about the structure. It does look good. And you know, it's going to be one of those that has potential. Okay, it's got potential. It doesn't mean that we are done with the lows, but we are pretty reasonably low, right? At 0.00936, we were under 1 cent. So for Harmony One, that's a pretty good sweet spot. Okay, we've come down pretty nicely. Does it mean that we're done with the bottom? Possibly, but possibly not at the same time. So we want to be a little bit cautious, and you know, let's see what this kind of tells us, right? So in here we do have this kind of, you know, rapid kind of movement to the upside, then correction coming down, followed by another rapid movement to the upside. This has given me some pretty good confidence in the market here. We've got a couple of different areas of interest to us. Again, we've got these kind of really rapid kind of movements to the upside. Okay, so this here I liken to a bit of a diagonal kind of structure, string of various different things, but I would say it's probably actually yeah, I'd say it's probably diagonal. And then we're going to have our kind of wave 2 correction in here, and then I think we've got a nested wave 3 at the moment anyway, where we have another wave 1 in here followed by a wave 2, and then we go up into this kind of wave 3, and inside the wave 3 we have a wave 1, a wave 2, and a wave 3. So it kind of gets nested down quite a bit. This is going to be a little bit complex. So let's start with our micro movement just in here. Okay, so if we start with this one, just inside, we can go 1, 2. Up here, we can see that we kind of have a couple of interesting kind of structures. I'm going to put it right here, and we're going to end it there. Okay, then we have a correction coming down, and then we peak back up again. This here would be our next kind of 5-wave structure, and I think it will belong to this one. So I'll go ahead and set this in. 1, 2. All of this is 3. This is 4. And we go up into 5. Okay, that's probably still in play. And then, of course, we can nest down the bigger structure, the bigger play, which is coming in all the way down here with 1, 2, all of this being 3, 4, and then up in 5. It sounds like one of my alerts just went off in trading for you. Let's just take a look while that is. In fact, let me just check it. That was Bitcoin USDT, so probably moving up and hitting target as expected. So yeah, we'll get into that at some point in Discord. So for the most part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like we still have more room to the upside to be had here. Let's check our stochastics. Yes, we're nice and low on our hourly chart, so not overly too concerned there. Oversold, not on the 4-hour, but we are overbought on the daily and the 8-hour. So again, that could be cause for concern. Let's go and bring this up a little bit and come into the 4-hour. Come down quite nicely. So I would say yes, this is actually aligning quite nicely to finishing this structure off. And we can, of course, start thinking about what that might mean when we complete it, because there would be a nice big corrective structure where we can come and jump back in and kind of focus in on either having a kind of a zigzag pattern on a scale, or potentially even a 5-3-5-3-5 on a much bigger scale. Okay, this is kind of a nice reversal pattern. This is kind of what we look for because this is a trend. It's a trend setter. So this is basically the very beginning of something big, potentially. Also, could just be a corrective structure under a 5-3-5. So upward directions, yes, but there'll be a big wipeout event before moving. So let's jump into this and see what is going on. So first of all, we need to focus in on this little wave 5, which will be the top of our wave 3. Okay, in order to kind of do this, we're going to measure our distances, and we're going to kind of give ourselves a little bit of a brief mini target just up here. It's going to be in this little range right in here. And yeah, so we're going to be about 1.74 to about 1.304. Okay, that's going to be your step 1. Okay, so that's your first one right in there. Okay, then of course we'll have a 38.2% retracement on that wave 3. That would be pretty big. So I'm going to just take the mid level of our yellow box here to give us a bit of an average, and then I'm going to pull this all the way down to here, and I'm going to bring this down. Our wave 4 should get us down to about 1.168 approximately. I'm just going to put a dashed line on that. We don't put yellow box there. And then we'll measure the distance again, and I'll do an approximate from where our wave 5 midpoint is down to that 38.2% retracement. And then get ourselves another yellow box and just paste this in here for our actual top of this structure, putting us approximately right in here at 1.318 to 1.370. And then at that point, we would start seeing a bigger kind of collapse down. Now, if this is all to be a big A, B, C structure, then the B wave is unpredictable. However, if it is to be something a bit more bigger than that, and all of this is actually just a wave 1, then a wave 2 retracement is going to come back down into these lows, and then we're going to kind of do those additional waves much higher. And again, that'll be on our daily chart, kind of indicating a pretty big swing to the upside under a kind of 5-wave movement. And that could actually be really, really interesting, because that would actually layer us into a reversal in the market, and this being the bear market bottom, if that were the case. Okay, so caution here. Either way, we're going to kind of come up into these kind of targets, in my opinion, towards kind of, an upper end of about 1.37. That would be your upper area, I would have thought, on the final kind of structure, and then breaking down. Whatever the breakdown looks like is going to help us understand how low we go, and then obviously we can take that to wherever it needs to go. 5 waves on their own like this, it would be unusual unless it's a part of some kind of flat correction or impulsive correction or a zigzag corrective structure. There's only really 3 kind of type of structures that we're going to be seeing these things, so it helps narrow down our possibilities a little bit, but there are quite a few different things that could happen here. So we do have to be quite open to all of them until the data narrows down what we think, or narrows down our options to a point where we can have a more clearer picture over the actual structure and what it means overall. So 5 waves is good. It's a good sign. We don't start with 5 waves without ending in 5 waves. So our minimum expectation would be some kind of A, B, and C structure. So that would be our minimum expectation. And of course, it could be actually, it wouldn't be our minimum expectation. The minimum expectation here would be a running flat, and this would be a really broad one, but it would look like, this is just an example. A running flat would be our basic kind of expectation, right? That would be our kind of worst case scenario, I guess. Okay, a running flat. Of course, the next kind of layer up would be a zigzag pattern, and best case scenario, if I scale this down just a fraction here, Our best case scenario here is that this is a 1, we come down for 2, we go up into 3, 4, and 5, and we've kind of got ourselves a trend to the upside. Okay, so those are kind of the different options on Harmony. Fantastic project. I think it's something to keep an eye on. There's still things to kind of think about in terms of Harmony 1 and kind of the future of it. But I think ultimately the pricing where it is and the structures that are appearing here gives me a lot of encouragement on the technical side of Harmony 1. Hope you found this useful. Smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to crypto, join us in our Discord server. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.